friends. One of the basic teachings that I share with others and live myself every day, every moment, as often as I remember, is the idea that who we are begins now. Who I am begins now because awareness, consciousness, allows me to be present for and aware of my thoughts. I can observe when I'm in the future, and I can realize it's this moment in which I'm evaluating the future. I can be aware my mind is in the past, but it's this moment in which I am aware that my mind is in the past. Just like I can be aware that I'm running stories that are distressing me about something in my life. This new construction next door to my house, it's going to completely block my view in my backyard. I've had many stories about that. We all do this all the time. But when I say to myself, who I am begins now, there's an internal shift away from the thoughts, the feelings, the sensations, the reactions, what we could call the objects of consciousness, and immediately I become present for that part of me which is the deepest mystery of all, which is really in each of us our true self, we could call it the spark of God in each of us, the limitless consciousness within each of us. And that consciousness allows me to find my breath, find this moment, come into my body, and realize my perceptions right now are completely new. My ability to be aware of a thought is completely new. My ability to choose to see the thought and not become the victim of that thought through identification, that's starting right now. If I have a judgment of Richard right now or a judgment of someone else right now, I don't have to go over to that thought, over to that judgment, whether of me or of someone else. I can stay right in the place of awareness. When you say, who I am begins now, and I urge you to say it to yourself over and over again, make the shift back into your body, make the shift back into your breath. Become conscious of, actually acknowledge that everything you've been thinking would not be present in your consciousness if it weren't for the deeper consciousness in which those thoughts are arising. Everything you're feeling would not be present in your consciousness except for that larger mind in which those thoughts are arising. Now, if you are the stories of the past, then you'll believe you began when you were born, or maybe when you were conceived, or you'll believe that you are the victim of events that happened in childhood, or you'll believe you are the victim of events that happened recently. But if you begin right now, you are the awarer of anything you tell yourself about this moment. Some things are very difficult. I just got an email from a friend who's learned that she has multiple sclerosis. The stories start to run immediately. The situation demands decisions, what kinds of medications, which doctors to listen to. And if you allow yourself, if she allows herself to become caught up in those stories, then she's going to begin when she finds the right doctor, or she's going to begin when it's the right combination of medication, or she's going to begin when she feels she's found a protocol for herself that empowers her. But that's always the future. She begins, you begin, I begin right now. It's an incredibly liberating idea. It's as if you take back the relationship that you've put onto people, that you've put onto houses, that you've put onto cars, that you've put onto money, that you've put onto your body, that you've put onto health. You come back to the fundamental and essential part of yourself that is conscious. Even though we don't have a name for it, we can call it consciousness just like that, the mystery of consciousness. That is actually our true self. And that relationship always is in this moment, always right now. If you practice this, what you're going to find is you start to come more and more into your body. You start to come more and more into the awareness of, the witnessing of, but not dissociated from, not disconnected, but the awareness of the feelings, the awareness of the thinking, future thoughts, past thoughts, judgments of yourself, judgments of others. And you begin to rest in a kind of timeless energy, like a current, that's softly present inside. It's a really good place to be. Who we are, it starts right now. Who you are begins right now. So start over. Don't be the victim of your mind. Connect to your big mind. It takes practice. Just like anything else in life that's worth knowing takes practice. But it's a practice that gives you back to yourself. And when you've given back, when you've restored a connection to yourself, then your relationships with others comes from a place of spontaneity, authenticity, a natural flow. And something happens that cannot happen when you're constantly identified with all of those thoughts in the mind, all of those objects of consciousness. Who I am begins now. Who you are begins now. Again and again and again and again. Stop traveling, identified with the thoughts, and travel as the consciousness, the awareness that is your true self.